Welcome to Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Sam Levitt's Furniture. I'm Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley here with Greg Hansen. Greg, big basketball news breaks Monday. Damon Stoudamire leaving the University of Arizona for a similar job at Memphis. You look at this on paper and you go, lateral move, if that, but there's probably some real reasoning to it. What's your take?
I think Damon went because he wants to be a head coach. He can express himself more at Memphis. He'll be more visible at Memphis. He knows now that at Arizona, he probably just sat there and looked like this. And if he wants to be a head coach, he can't do that. And with Josh Pastner, you'll have a lot more freedom.
Well, it's funny. I mean, Sean Miller is a guy who is so clearly in control of his program. I mean, he draws up all the plays. He runs every practice, etc. You go from a guy like him to Josh Pastner, who, and I'm being nice here because we know Josh, and it's the way he is. He's kind of hands-off as a head coach, isn't he?
You can flip Damon's situation.
Right.
It's hands-off if you're an assistant at Arizona. I mean that in a good way.
Right.
Because Sean Miller's a workaholic who runs practices with an iron fist.
Right.
And at Memphis, I mean, Josh does not have an iron fist.
Right. If anything, I mean, he is viewed as a player's coach.
Yes. And Damon will probably get more work there in the public eye, and that's what he wants.
That's interesting. He is a guy, Greg, who has been in the public eye for more than half his life. In Tucson, Arizona, while certainly he was a celebrity, he's every bit as big of a celebrity in Memphis.
Yeah.
It's where he's played, it's where he's coached before. I mean, in a way, he is not shying away from the spotlight by going to Memphis. If anything, he's probably walking into a bigger one.
When Arizona played in the Tulsa Regional in 2012, Memphis was there. Well, Arizona played Memphis. I was taken aback by Memphis's fans.
Yes.
They made the U of A fans look like like old guys.
Right, and Josh Pastner is a guy who, I mean, to me, the unspoken thing here, not to take this off in too much of a tangent, if Josh Pastner doesn't win next year, Josh Pastner will not be the head coach at Memphis anymore.
18 and 14 last year.
Why would you, as an assistant, hitch your star to somebody who might not be there a year from now?
I think I agree with what and believe what Damon wrote on his Twitter feeds, that he's closer to family. He still has a house in Memphis.
Right.
And I think that's the hub of where he can recreate himself.
If Josh Pastner gets in trouble next year and is fired, is Damon Stoudamire a recent enough addition that he would be considered for their full-time head coaching job?
I would say no. They would usually go 180, don't you?
Yeah.
And Damon would be considered a Josh guy.
Right.
You know, he just doesn't have the head coach persona yet. He needs to develop it.
Right.
And that's on him to do it.
Right. So we're talking Jack Murphy then.
Jack Murphy, yeah.
Though he's a Josh guy too.
He's got a personality.
Absolutely, he does. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Sam Levitt's Furniture. For Greg Hansen, I'm Ryan Finley. We'll see you next time.